Hello, everyone, and welcome to the HP Podcast, episode number 359. I'm Ben, and I'm delighted to be here, along with the beautiful boys, Bando and Davey. Dave, I realize the audience hasn't heard from you more recently than they have Brandon, but I've talked to Brandon a lot playing Arc Raiders over the last couple weeks, so I want to talk to you first.
Sure.
How are you doing?
I'm good. Enjoying some time off work with the family. Had a nice Christmas. Can enjoy a quiet but nice New Year's tomorrow night. It's one of those like things where I look forward to the holiday break and I think about like I'm gonna relax and I'm gonna get stuff done and I'm gonna catch up on some video games and stuff, and then suddenly all of my free time is accounted for.
Yeah.
And I'm back at work, and I kind of hit that point today where I was like, I literally have no more free days because of all the plans, you make and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
but it's still nice to fill those days with something other than Teams meetings and Outlook and stuff like that. So
yes, agreed.
But yeah, it's been a good couple weeks away. Yeah. How are you? It's good to see you both.
It's good to see you, dude.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I feel kind of the same. I feel like I haven't really had a full day off, actually. Obviously, like you said, not filled with meetings and the normal stuff, but I haven't had like a whole day where I'm just like, I have nothing to do today. And that's great. That is not great, by the way, but it would be great if I had nothing to do. But it's okay because I technically have unlimited PTO. And the only days I've taken off are like company-wide holidays and 2 days since February. So I'm like, oh, it sucks. My time off's almost over. But I know I wouldn't take time off. I can take time off anytime I want, and I don't. So I'm just an idiot. That's basically what I'm saying.
I've been
Brandon, are you
great.
an idiot?
Yeah, well, with that's unrelated, but um, bye, Dave. Um,
Wow, where'd he go?
he he just caught up with us, and now he's gone for the he's a see you next year kind of
All
guy.
right, that's fine.
Um, he wanted to make sure we were all right, and now that he verified that, he's like, all right, I'm glad my boys are all right. Now I actually do need to take this time because he just realized that all of his days were full and he
Yeah,
could have been doing something he wanted to do more aside from this.
right.
No, but I'm good. I'm Dave, I'm doing great. Dave, I'm doing so good. It's very nice to see you here tonight, Dave. Oh, there he is. There he is.
He's
Welcome
back.
back. Welcome back. Dave, I was saying that you realized how little time you had and you're like, I'd rather be doing something else other than this. And I just realized that. And so now that I make sure you're both okay, see you next year. But yeah, I'm good. I'm so good. I've been very busy as well. I was working a lot. I think I did like 54 hours in 4 days, something like that. And the past day, what's today? I just recently got some days off, so I'm very happy to be done with it for a little bit until the new year. So, very much looking forward to New Year's. Have some awesome plans, and yeah, just doing it big, guys. Doing it big. Enjoying playing video games. Enjoying relaxing. Had insane Christmas gifts this year. A lot of practical stuff, and I needed that. I needed that so bad. A lot of the stuff I have in my home is kind of like a hodgepodge of things that were graciously donated to me from the people that I love, and I'm very grateful. Um, but and I don't need much. That's the other thing. Like I don't just go out and buy this shit for myself because I just use what I have. So I got some pretty nice things. A lot of stuff for the kitchen, which is really great because I do enjoy
Yeah,
cooking. And when your tools are better, that like takes away that one extra barrier to like it being a chore,
yeah.
right? When you have good tools. So, yeah, it's been great. I just got to use some of my new pots and pans last night. Made dinner for me and lady I've been dating, and yeah, it's great. It's so
You're
good,
stuck there
man.
without a name to call her. I can tell.
I was
You're
stuck.
stuck. Yeah.
No, I wasn't. I was honestly just pondering on how good it all went. It was
Uh,
fantastic. Like it was not only great company, but like the cookware is just phenomenal. So
oh, that's great. I'm glad to hear it, man. Yeah, cool. Well, I'm glad everybody is here and had a great time. Oh, very sorry for the week we missed. Actually, I'm not at all sorry. Matter of fact, we were talking earlier today about how there was like less to catch up on. I was like, we should have just or there was less to talk about. I was like, we should have just taken 2 weeks off. Everybody else would have. You would have all forgiven us, but we wanted to see each other, and that's why that's why we're here. It's not for the audience. It's for us.
right.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all there is to chat about to catch up for the moment. If you want to help support us, you can do so over on Patreon at patreon.com/handsomephantom for as little as $1 a month. I almost said $1 a week. No, $1 a month. All right. You can also
Even
hang out with us
less.
on Discord, handsomephantom.com/Discord, where we goof around a good bit. Boys, let's talk about some video games. The first thing, there, like I mentioned, there's not a lot. Dave has been putting together our notes for the last couple months, very graciously.
Like a gentleman.
And even after he put them together this time, I was still like, you know what? Dave said there wasn't much, but maybe I can find some extra. Nope, Dave found it all. He found everything there is to talk about in video games in the last 2 weeks.
Is there anything you'd like to criticize him for?
Yeah, plenty, but I won't do that publicly.
He'll find something.
Maybe just breeze over it real quick, and then you'll find something real quick. We could just wait for that.
Yeah, no problem. No, I was just like, I know I look at other resources than Dave does. Certainly, I have
I'm just
to.
fucking around. I'm just fucking around.
007 First Light, an important update regarding the release date. This is from a couple days ago. It says, today we are sharing an update regarding 007 First Light as we have decided to move the game's release by 2 months to the 27th of May 2026. 007 First Light is our most ambitious project to date, and the team has been fully focused on delivering an unforgettable James Bond experience, bringing together breathtaking action, globe-trotting, spycraft, gadgets, car chases, and more, etc., etc. The game is progressing well and is fully playable from beginning to end, so these additional 2 months will allow us to further polish and refine the experience, ensuring we deliver the strongest possible version at launch. We're confident this sets 007 First Light up for long-term success, and we sincerely appreciate the patience and continued support we've received since we revealed the game. Boys, the first thing I want to say about this is it bothers me how every time they mention the name of the game that they call it by its full name, 007 First Light. Like, just call it First Light or just call it 007. You don't have to be so formal about it. But that's a minor complaint. Dave, what do you think? I know neither one of you guys were super excited about this game, I feel like.
So I never really got into the modern Hitman games, and I remember really liking Silent Assassin when I was a kid, but that was just when I was kind of getting into more like serious mature games. So I think it was just kind of into it for that reason. So like I can what I've seen so far of this game, I'm excited about the story, the writing, the voice acting. That all looks top tier, but the gameplay to me just looks like something that might not really resonate with me. So I'm not super excited for it, but this news is kind of interesting because we can debate what the real reason why they decided to move, and I use this as an opportunity to kind of look ahead at the first 6 months of next year because I know some of the games that are coming out, but I can never remember when. And First Light was originally scheduled to come out at the end of March,
Yeah.
and it's moved into the void that Grand Theft Auto is now created, which is May. And now the only two big games that are set to come out in May are Lego Batman, which is arguably one of the biggest games to come out in the first half of next year, and now 007 First Light. And I'm kind of thinking this is an odd move. Now, if this was a purely like we need time to finish the game, it's a technical choice. Yes, there was an opportunity in May where there's not much coming, but if the ultimate reason was to put the best product day one, then I'm okay with that, whatever. But I'm more kind of looking at like the situation they were going to be in at the end of March and now going toe to toe with Lego Batman, and they're now 2 days apart. I think First Light is on the 27th and Lego Batman's on the 29th of May. And Lego Batman has early access, and I genuinely think that despite there not being much else launching in May at the moment, 007 may actually lose some people to Lego Batman and vice versa. Whereas, there was quite a bit of other stuff coming out in March. Not a lot of big stuff. I Monster Hunter Stories 3 was one of the ones I saw. So, like, I think it was in a better position to compete in March than it was in May. And again, if it's, a technical thing, then they got to do what they got to do. But looking at those two launch windows, I think they may have actually been better served staying in March. But it's all speculation.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting to see, and it will be interesting to see if anybody else moves into May, because we still only have two big games launching in May, both in the very last week. So,
knowing what we know about the industry, though, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, there's no perfect time to launch your game. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 2 or 3 more big titles move into both March, April, and May, or all three of those. So it wouldn't surprise me. There's really no time. I think it just has to be the perfect time for your game. Because release dates are like strategic release dates are very few and far between, except for when it comes to like big tentpole games for the whole industry. And maybe this will be, and maybe even Lego Batman will be. It's kind of interesting because I think the Lego Batman trailers have been awesome. I think it looks really fun, but I think that game might disappoint people. Not the reviewers, not people who are looking at it with a critical eye, not people who just want to have fun. But like, I think people are forgetting that they've been playing Lego games for the better part of 20 years now, and this is just another Lego game. It may be awesome, and of course, it's Batman, which everybody loves Batman, but I'm really thinking that it may surprise, like it may disappoint some people by thinking that this is going to be a revolution, because people are talking about it in an all new light as if it's not just another Lego game. It is just another Lego game, even though it looks to be a really good one. Brandon, are you pumped for 007 First Light?
Yeah, IO makes great games.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Hitman and what they've done with the franchise. I think they're a really high quality and thoughtful performing studio. I don't think we're gonna have much of a competition here. As opposed to what Dave thinks, I think it's two completely separate audiences, entirely. But I think this is good. I think sometimes when things release too close to the beginning of the year, they kind of get lost. I think that setting yourself in a nice Q2 where you're not at the very beginning kind of keeps it in people's minds longer.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we get to the end of the year to the Game Awards stuff, you see some of the noms and you're like, that came out this year?
Yeah.
You know, and not like it's super deep into the year, but I think that in a lot of ways this is potentially better for them. I think it is nice and it can be less crowded, or it used to be less crowded at the beginning of the year than the end of the year, but that's not the way it is anymore. So
Yeah.
I think this is great, and a couple months is perfect. I think that like a 6 to 9 month delay signals to me more of a problem than this does. This could just generally be polish. And I do respect them enough in their foresight to think that IO knows what they're doing here and that they're dealing with a very large and beloved property. And so if they need some extra time, we've said it time and time again, it's just take the time you need, truly, to make the best game you can. And as of right now, I have all the faith in them. I'm not a huge fan of what they did with the whole World of Assassins thing. I kind of like how they originally launched that Hitman game instead of just making it like a huge platform type thing. But it wasn't bad. I just didn't prefer it that way. I prefer my standalone type game. So we'll see how this goes, but it does seem to be breaking away from the mold enough of Hitman that it really, really intrigues me. But I think a lot of the DNA from Hitman will be ingrained in new and interesting ways in this game. And if they need a couple months, take it. I think it's fine.
Dave, you sent us a message apologizing. Obviously, it's not your fault, but I do hate you. So
Don't let it happen again.
don't let it happen.
Sorry, my
again.
Canadian dial-up is failing me now, but I'll call Gord up the cable station after the show here.
Just
Yeah, no
shake,
problem.
just
Tell
shake
him
the
what's
wires.
what.
Yeah, just shake the wires, dude.
Earlier, so on my end, on like the host end, I see like a connectivity signal, and your connectivity was going from red to green like every few seconds, and then you'd pop out and come back in. It's been green ever since you came back the last time, so hopefully that's a good sign.
Got the snow off the lines.
Yeah,
It doesn't snow in western Pennsylvania, right?
There's
it's snowing right now, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say I shoveled the walks today and salted them.
Number 2,
Do
Sandfall.
it while holding a Tim Hortons double-double, though.
No, I would never drink that trash.
If only. It's
Twisted
only Dunkin'
Voxel
around here, buddy.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Go.
It's
Go.
all
It was,
intentional.
it was a delay. Start talking again. Go ahead.
Action.
Twisted Voxel says Sandfall Interactive discusses DLC difficulty and AI use for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. This is a long article, but I'll just read the first couple paragraphs here. Sandfall has addressed several key topics around Expedition 33, offering clarification on post-launch content, difficulty design, generative AI use, and the studio's long-term direction. The details were shared during a private creator Q&A session hosted by publisher Kepler Interactive, featuring Sandfall Interactive founder Guillaume, doesn't matter, and art director. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry to you individuals who made an amazing game. I don't know how to say your names, and I'm not going to butcher them trying to do so. According to Sandfall, the free DLC expansion was conceived as both creative outlet and a way to acknowledge player support. They explained the original concept behind the content, stating, "I think from the first brief, I could remember it was supposed to be Verso's childhood. It should be childish, colorful, kind of crazy. We could explore areas that can be colorful and different to every other area in the game." I think that's somebody had a complaint at one point that the color palette of the game was very muted. So there you go. You just play the DLC. You don't even need to play the rest of the game. The session also addressed the game's most demanding optional content. They acknowledged the player feedback regarding extreme difficulty and confirmed that the hardest boss was adjusted in a recent hotfix. They explained the design intent behind these encounters, stating, "We nerfed the hardest boss in the 1.5.1 hotfix. We wanted to make it a range of difficulties for players to feel all the emotions of life, including anger. When you reach the max level and max gear, this character becomes too easy. So we wanted a really, really hard boss for the players who have played way too much to chew on for a while." On the subject of generative AI, he offered a direct response. He stated, "Yeah, we're aware of what's been going on with that, but I can say that everything in the game is human-made." He went on to explain that earlier experimentation with AI tools was abandoned, adding, "We tried it and didn't like it at all. It just felt wrong." He emphasized that all final assets, including concept art and performances, were created by human contributors. When discussing future plans, they avoided outlining specific projects. "Not much we can share, but we don't want to grow too big. We're happy with where we are." He added that the studio intends to continue focusing on art, characters, and storytelling without announcing any new titles or expansions. Dave, I know you hate this game with a burning passion, and you'd refuse to ever play it again or even talk about it. So it's kind of weird we're talking about it now. But what do you think of this article? And I imagine there's one or two key points you want to hit on more than that.
So first of all, my relationship with Expedition 33 is a lot like my relationship with like the Foo Fighters or Red Hot Chili Peppers, where
I didn't know you totally despise the Foo Fighters and the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I don't. See, here's the thing: is as musicians, as artists, is what they've done for the industry. I respect them. They've done huge things, but I just don't like their music. You know, a lot of other people do, but I just don't. It's the same thing with Expedition 33. So the first thing I want to say about this story is the way that 6-1 Indie handled this was absolutely terrible. 6-1 Indie, they have the Indie Game Awards, and you know the awards is where I think they awarded Expedition 33, but then they took it back, or they took them out of the nominees or something like that. And I just feel like they wanted to don the whole anti-gen AI cape so quickly. And if they had kind of investigated a little bit further and seen that Sandfall didn't actually use Gen AI in the final product, which is what, you know, they should be judged on, then I think they should have been considered and probably won. And if they did, and this came out and Paul still sort of addressed it as they did, I don't think anybody would have been upset at 6-1 Indie for allowing them to have this award. Full disclosure, I don't really care for this outlet too much. We had a really weird run-in with them earlier this summer, and yeah, so there's that. But I just think they handled this in the worst way possible, and this appeared to be an award show that was gaining some traction, that was gaining some respect in the industry, and I just feel like the way that they handled this situation was not good, and I think ultimately Sandfall came out as is looking better. You know, their PR, the way they handled this was really, really well. And I thought that the Indie Game Awards reaction was a little knee jerk, and it didn't really look really good.
Dave, didn't this? They mentioned the generative AI, which, look, we've talked about AI in video games. You know where I stand. Basically, I'm at the point though where I'm like, I think a lot of people are just. I'm not saying 6-1 Indie. I don't know their true intentions, but like a lot of people are just grandstanding at this point. Like, oh, there's AI. You have no idea what you're talking about. Most people who are like anti-AI in video games don't understand where AI is useful and where it's not. So whatever. But the other thing is that then they pivoted and said it was because they weren't indie, which is a more, in my opinion, legitimate reason to kick them out of the indie awards. But they knew they were not indie prior to nominating them. So that's whatever. I've met the folks at 6-1 Indie. They seem like nice folks, but this was handled poorly, I think. And I think they have some stuff to learn from it. So. Well, since Dave is gone, he's back maybe again. I don't know what's going on, Brandon. Anything here? Any strings here you want to pull on?
Yeah, I just want to touch base on the whole Gen AI stuff. I know that they caught a lot of shit right after the Game Awards when they were starting to talk a lot about this, and I think that there's a lot of grandstanding going on in the AI industry. Well, in the conversation around Gen AI in video games. I think you kind of hit it on the head, Ben. And we talked about it a lot, but I think a lot of people would sooner wave the flag of I'm doing a good thing, AI bad, than to actually understand how these companies implement it into their software to begin with. Because there are companies that do it in a bad way that take money away from actual human beings.
Sure.
But a lot of them don't, including this company, and they've been very forthcoming about that since the whole Fallout post game awards. So, yeah, I think that there's so many people and journalists and loud voices on the internet that want to get the moral high ground without truly understanding what the negative damage that they're doing to the people that are actually making good things in bad faith. They're doing this. So I think that's the biggest thing I want to take away from this. I'm glad to hear that they're, continuing to stay small. I think that's really important. I think that sometimes coming into a lot of money can be very difficult. And it can change a lot.
I'd like to try it.
Sure. I mean, I would give it a go. If I figure it out, I'll let you know. But I think that with a studio that is as creative and loyal to the property as they are and how much passion they have, I like that they're moving forward in a way that they're acknowledging that that's not necessarily going to change them, at least from what they say. So we'll see as time goes on, but I'm glad they're kind of taking it slow, even though there is an influx of money. Sometimes the bag is infinitely being chased, but I'm glad that they're kind of keeping their 10 toes down and they're doing it right. So yeah, I think this is great. I will get around to playing this game at some point, but
I don't believe you.
Okay.
Knowing what you like to play, I do think you would like it, but I do think it's going to have to come at a time when you're not hopelessly addicted to another game like we both currently are. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's really been the problem. I played 3 or 4 hours, and as I was playing it, like legitimately, Dustin's the one who let me borrow it. I was texting him like, this game is fucking awesome. Like I was getting deeper into the combat, like I was getting the flow of it, and then other shit just happened. So it's the old song and dance. But
Johnny Waffles in chat, I think you said something about loud voice on the internet. Said I'm a loud voice on the internet. Oh, sorry, that's MBLEX test prep. Johnny Waffles, you haven't been a loud voice on the internet lately. As a matter of fact, I texted Johnny Waffles a couple weeks ago. I was like, "Are you dead? Did you die? Where have you been?"
That's another one of his accounts. Okay, I can't keep up with all of them.
He's got a lot of accounts, but some of them are actually just spiritual presentations of people, famous people, I think, too. So anyway, welcome in, Johnny, and welcome in, Ash. I didn't say hello to you earlier.
Someone might want to check on Hulk. He hasn't been in the stream in a long time, dude.
Brandon, there. Just Google his name, maybe. I don't know. Might find out. Maybe you don't know. I hate for this to be the way you find out, But
the racism finally got to him.
The racism takes us all. No, wait, that's not what I meant. It's like
it takes some of us.
It takes its toll. Is what I was trying to get at.
Not us as in like us in this community. Us as in like a human species.
Dude, I saw a clip of Burnt Peanut, and he said like, I don't like the truck nuts on trucks because if you have them, people immediately know you're racist, and I don't want people to know that. He goes, wait. I mean, I don't want people to assume that.
Us as in the species, not us as in you and me.
Correct. Well, I haven't gotten anything from Dave, so he may just be out. I don't know.
Canadian blackout.
Yeah, or maybe he's just like restarting his PC or something.
Yeah,
it is what it is,
brother.
Let's move on.
Should we just wait for him?
I don't know how long. I don't know. That might take a while.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get anything going on. we just hang out in silence we boot up Arc Raiders, but then keep it on in the background, just on our faces. Imagine
doing callouts.
Imagine.
According to GameSpot, 2K has confirmed that WWE 2K24 will be delisted as of January 31st, 2026, with servers shutting down March 31st. This information was disclosed on the game's Steam page, but also applies to the console editions. Once the servers go dark, quote, all game functions requiring online servers will no longer function. 2K Sports actually first confirmed the server shut down on December 8th, but it wasn't widely reported on until more recently. The game's offline modes like Play Now and Showcase will remain available after the servers go dark. All virtual currency, along with DLC and add-ons, will be removed from sale on January 31st, along with the game itself. 2K24 was released in March of 2024, so the servers will have been online for about 2 years. The impending closure is a bummer for people, excuse me, who want to keep playing online, but this kind of thing is not uncommon in the world of sports games and beyond for 2K and other publishers. In September of this year, 2K shut off the online servers for the Golf Club 2019 and PGA Tour 2K21. The newest WWE 2K game, 2K25, was released in March of 2025. Welcome back, Dave. Hello. Greetings. Well, he's here, but he's immobile, and
he's indisposed.
The
so
ghost of Dave is just popping in and out
Jesus
there.
Christ, it's haunting. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is that big of a deal. I mean, truthfully, I think it sucks for the people that like these games, and I think these wrestling games and a lot of these 2K games have long tails on them from people that don't buy the games every year that will just play the shit out of a certain year.
Yeah.
Like I remember I used to have ones, and of course these weren't online, but like I'd have PS2 wrestling games and like 360 wrestling games that were like 4 or 5 years old, and I would love to play those. It didn't matter to me, right? Or I would buy a year where there were wrestlers that I liked back when I would watch it when I was very small. But yeah, I mean, this sucks. They haven't broke 1,000 players on Steam since last year's came out. So, like, I mean, it makes sense. And that's not where everybody's playing it. But I'd imagine there's a very, very large console audience. But yeah, I mean, with these yearly releases, this has to be something you kind of expect at this point.
I mean, it isn't. It isn't. Madden doesn't do this, for instance, at least not for a very long time.
Well, because Madden's more popular.
Sure. But
significantly.
I don't have a problem with them saying we're not supporting it anymore. And I really don't have a problem with them delisting it if they don't want to sell it anymore. That's fine, whatever. But it just feels like, why delist it if people could still buy it? Or, I mean, I understand taking the servers down, but why delist the game? Like, there are still offline modes.
Well, because 2K is also a company that aggressively puts their shit on sale. So why in the, you know, for someone that doesn't care, if you are getting into it that late, why in the world would you buy their 25 or 26
if there's a 24 available?
When 24 is available for $15 on Christmas.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, or $12. You know, some of these are insanely discounted, especially when it's the next year. So, yeah, I mean, I get it. They do want to push people into their other ecosystem. And I think it makes a lot more sense to do this with a game that's less popular. Get rid of because the numbers probably aren't there. That's the other thing. Yeah. Like, truly, the numbers probably aren't there. Right. So, you know, shovel out the old content. And I don't like it. I don't think it's a good thing, but like I understand why they're doing this, especially with a less popular yearly iterative game like 2K pumps out. So
right, that's true. Yeah, I guess since they're pumping one out almost every year, makes a little more sense.
It is pretty much every year.
Yeah, I think so. Hi, Dave.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How you doing? Did you restart your computer?
I poured water on the modem. So
good. I think this might be your computer's way of saying, "Please replace me."
Put it in the microwave.
Dave, what do you got to say about this? I don't remember what we were talking about when you dipped out, but we're not talking about it anymore. So
yeah, that's okay. WWE. So Take-Two has had the license to make these games since I think it was about 2013. I read, so it's been over 10 years. But 2K20 was a complete disaster. They're delisting 2024 less than 2 years after it was put on sale. If I were the WW, I'd either have a stern conversation with Take-Two or I'd start looking for new partners because this doesn't seem to be going well. Yeah. I think gamers like us kind of understand there's a delineation between Take-Two and the WWE, but I think the average gamer may look at this and think poorly on WWE as an institution. So this doesn't look good, and it doesn't instill any confidence in gamers if you are taking a game off of storefronts and shutting down a lot of functionality for something that people have already bought less than 2 years after. The article notes PGA 2019 and one other game that were both also shut down, but that's like over 5 years after they hit the market. So that's one thing, but less than 24 months after you buy a game and you're shutting down services and delisting the game. Like, that's just way too soon. If you're going to put a game out there and you're going to put online features in, you have to commit to it for a certain period of time to kind of get that confidence in gamers. And this to me is just, it doesn't look good. So this is probably a lot of the stuff you guys already said, but
I think Brandon actually kind of said the opposite.
Okay.
Even though we don't like it, he understands it because they're putting out so many games year after year that they want to encourage people to buy the new one, which is equally crappy in my opinion. But
Yeah. And I also pretty much just said, like, this is far from their most popular IP. So I'm not saying 2K doesn't care about it, but I think they're going to make way more money on selling old Madden games and old NBA games than they are this game. So
yeah. And I mean, we saw a few months ago, EA announced that they were going to be doing the update thing for F1, and that's a growing franchise.
Yeah.
So I think EA doing that with a considerable property such as F1, that changes things in the industry. So
Yeah.
hopefully people take notice. Hopefully this works for EA, both as a company and gamers. So Take-Two can't get away with this kind of stuff because it's shitty. If you choose to put out a new game every year that's going to be full price, then you also have to choose to support the ones that you put out 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and 4 years ago. But yeah, I don't know.
in chat it says there are many other better reasons to look down on WWE as an institution. That is true.
brother.
IGN.com reports former PlayStation exec says Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo must learn from VHS's victory over Betamax if they want to truly expand the console audience. Video game consoles cap out each generation at around 250 million. So how will the console manufacturers break through that barrier? By learning a crucial lesson from videotape format war, one former PlayStation exec has suggested. Speaking on the Pause for Thought and Naomi Kyle YouTube channel, Sean Layden, former boss of SIEA, said the console video game market has hit a limit and significant change is needed to expand beyond it. We talk about gaming as being this $250 billion industry, which it is, and have hundreds of millions of users, which it does. But of course, that includes if you're playing Wordle, you're a gamer. If you're playing Candy Crush, you're a gamer in that number. But the number of discrete consoles sold over any particular generation caps out at about 250 million. If you line up all the PS1s, Sega Saturns, and N64s, and you go by generations, it's all about 250. The one time it popped almost 300 was the generation that had the Wii, and people thought you could buy a Wii Fit and lose weight. So we got some non-traditional gaming audience to buy into the gaming industry at that time. Excuse me. But that was an anomaly, and we've still kind of flattened out. So we need to crack that barrier. The videotape format war was as late as 1970s, 80s battle between Sony's Betamax and JVC's VHS for dominance in home video recording, with VHS ultimately winning due to longer recording times, broader licensing, and key partnerships with movie studios making movies available for rental purchase on VHS more readily, despite Betamax often having slightly better quality. Et cetera, et cetera. So then he goes on to say, later on, Sony and Philips created the compact disc consortium. They created the patent, and then they licensed it out to all the other manufacturers. Same thing happened with DVD. Same thing happened with Blu-ray. They said, we'll compete on the device, so if you get a Bang & Olufsen Blu-ray player, it's going to cost you more than the Sanyo version, even though they'll both support the platform, but they'll have different bells and whistles. This is what the video game industry should do, create a gaming format consortium of sorts. Dave, just in case you disappear again, let's get your take first here on what Sean Layden has been saying. It's interesting because we've heard more from Sean. I mean, I guess that's kind of normal, but we've heard more from Sean Layden since he left Sony than we did while he was there, I feel like.
Yeah, I like what he's saying, and anytime Sean Layden speaks, I tend to listen. I think he's a smart guy. I think he's a well-respected guy, and I like that he's been so candid but politically correct since he's left the industry and kind of talking about where he thinks the industry needs to go. I do think, it's kind of blue sky thinking, and I think he knows that, but what he's trying to demonstrate here is that there is some precedence for where the industry could go, and the VHS Betamax, especially with Sony's kind of lineage, is a good thing to look at. So I don't know that, this would really play out in such an amicable way, but I think we're already kind of seeing that, multiple consoles have a hard time competing, especially when you have, the PC market starting to kind of infiltrate consoles in a much more profound way that they have in the past several years. So, I think the industry is big enough to sustain like a Nintendo and a Sony, but we're already seeing that Microsoft is having a really hard time um, unless its parent company is heavily subsidizing the video game division. So, yeah, I think they need to make it do as much as they can, these three, the big three, to kind of make it as easy as possible for gamers to enter the console market because PC isn't going anywhere. And looking at physical media is definitely a good start. But thinking that they're kind of going to come together in a consortium and unite on this front, it's that would be cool. But I wouldn't hold my breath on that one. So yeah, good for Sean though.
Brandon.
Yeah, interesting take. 250 million seems like enough to me. I don't know. Like, I get what he's saying here, and it's like a novel idea. But I also agree with Dave. Like, there's no world where these companies would be, banding together. And I don't think it's a good thing. I think that as a consumer, I think we're in a good place that these companies have to stay on their toes. We're seeing year after year things that seem to be surefire things in the gaming industry get knocked down a peg. And I think that's good for us. I think that's good for the people that are experiencing the medium. And he's, of course, talking about it in more of a high level manner, as in like an industry leader at one point. How to push that forward generally. But to be honest with you, that's the suit's problems. And so I don't want to say Sean Lane is a suit, but he kind of is, even though he's not directly associated with Sony Interactive America anymore. But yeah, I mean, it seems like enough, and I think that these companies will continue to struggle unless they make a large pivot towards a more modular PC approach, because I think the rise of PC is bigger than any of these companies are going to be able to keep up with, except for Nintendo, because they will hoard their IP until they're a hole in the ground. So,
it's funny that he uses the VHS and Betamax conversation because I know there were a lot of issues. I think price was one of them. Man, VHS tapes in the 80s cost like $50 when they first started coming out, which is insane. And I think Betamax costs even more than that.
that's like a
I
whole
think
week.
VHS could be what?
That's like a whole week of work.
Yeah, for real. I think VHS could be like a longer, but I also I've seen this before. I don't know if this is like a meme or if it's any kind of truth, but part of the reason VHS won over Betamax was because Betamax, Sony owned Betamax, and they would not allow anything pornographic on their system. So
Gotta allow
VHS ends up
gooning,
winning
man.
out.
Dude,
It could have that fact could be true, but not actually the reason. But that's still a funny.
so what you're saying is that Nintendo, Sony, and Xbox need to get into the goon space. That is an
Yeah, they need
untapped
to-
market. That
They
is
need
an
to match
untapped
up with
market.
Steam.
Dude, honestly, Steam's got the goon game on lock, though, for real. They don't want to advertise it, but like, seriously, you go on Steam and you just sort by top. If you don't have the right filters on,
Yeah,
you're like, oh, what's this ridiculous looking title? When you click on it, and next thing you know, there's like actual
tentacles.
dude. Some of the stuff on Steam, I'm telling you though, like
If
it's
you-
actually.
If you go to the new and trending or popular upcoming, a lot of times like 5 of the top 10 slots on popular upcoming will just be like adult games
Yeah.
if you don't have the filters on. Yeah,
And I someone's paying for it. You know,
Lots of people are paying
Someone
for it.
has to be paying for it because it.
yeah.
God.
Lots of people are paying for it, and the games are still never showing up on the charts, but these companies are just churning them out constantly. And it's a lot of the same companies just rehashing the same content apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I guess once you got the form of Dick and Balls or like the form of Poussoir, you could just like slap it onto any form or figure that you could possibly imagine. So they kind of got like an infinite money glitch, more or
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
But yeah, Steam is filled with that. So Sean Layton's right. The King Gooner, he needs to. He's he's absolutely right that we need to diversify in the console industry towards towards this audience that is untapped.
You know what I miss about when we used to do these shows not live? The show title was always derived by something that happened in the show. Like we would set the show title after. So every time like we say something in the show and I'm like, man, that would have been a good show
That
title.
would've
But
been
now we said it beforehand, so it would have been Sean Lade and King Gunner for this one, 100%.
He could be that now that he's not like in Sony. He could just do whatever he wants. So
Derek says, I feel like these hentai games are all AI slop now, and they can pop one out once a week and sell for $5. Derek, I don't really know as much about them as you seem to, but I'll take your word for it. We need Edward Walton here to consult on the matter.
dude, that's what I'm saying though. Like they have a win. That might be the infinite money glitch.
Yeah.
That might be. I got a business proposition for you guys.
Do you guys think those games are actually good too, or are they just titillating?
Ben, repeat that question to yourself out loud again, and then tell me what you think. They didn't get nominated at the Game Awards, did they?
I mean, like, are they actually enjoyable games aside from the subject matter?
Yeah, I think Expedition 69 is actually pretty good. I downloaded the wrong game.
S queer.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what we've been playing. Dave, you go first.
I unfortunately haven't been playing much, but
Same.
what video game time I have had, I've been trying to use to clear out my backlog a little. So I finished Borderlands 4. I have to say, so when I first started this game, I felt like the Timekeeper was a pretty cool antagonist, and he had a lot of like intrigue and mystery to him. And there was a couple other characters who came in along the way who I thought, there's a character named Zadra who comes in, and she, the way she's introduced narratively, you kind of feel like there could be something here. And there was a lot that I was anticipating that just didn't materialize. You don't play a Borderlands game for the narrative, so I'm not super upset, but I just kind of felt like there was some potential here for some decently memorable gameplay story, especially without Handsome Jack, but it just, the game was a little disappointing in the end. From the gameplay perspective, the final boss was really fucking annoying. I wasn't under leveled or anything. I was doing a lot of good damage. But he had a couple phases, some near one-shot attacks, and he's in one of those arenas where you can get knocked off, and you are going to get knocked off a lot, and you die, and you have to start again. The other thing was, with Borderlands, there's a second win mechanic where if you go down, you get a shot to kill a smaller enemy or any enemy, and then you'll get a second chance. The problem with the final boss is like there is one extra enemy, and he's this little drone that just kind of flies off like way off in the distance, and like he is near impossible to hit. So just a really kind of annoying way to finish the game. But the end game seems pretty cool. I am looking forward to getting back into Borderlands 4 to do some of the end game stuff and ultimately do the raid, which came out a few weeks ago.
No.
But I'm going to take a break from it. But anyways, I've rolled creds, as it were, and happy to have that one behind me for now.
Dave, I need to blaze through and finish the rest of the story of that game, and we should do the raid together at some point.
You got to be. I think you at minimum you have to have completed the game, but
Right.
what I've read is you should be at level cap to do the raid.
Yeah.
So I still got some work to do, but absolutely we should do that. I also jumped back into Helldivers 2 a little bit. I haven't played this game since April, and quite a bit has changed in the game. I think the biggest update came up in like May, so it wasn't like a brand new game, but there were some substantial improvements for me. One of the issues I had with Helldivers is I felt like, someone who's playing primarily solo, primarily with randoms. I'm usually on like difficulty 3 or 4, which, is kind of medium, I guess.
Yeah.
Progression I felt was kind of slow in terms of, gaining XP to level up. And, there's a lot of unlockables and cosmetics and stuff like that. So that's that. But I still feel like it took like several games for me just to get a level. But what they've added in is they've added in a whole weapon progression system into the game. And This leveling up your weapons happens much quicker than your character level. And every time you level up, you can unlock different upgrades for your gun, whether it be, optics or ammo capacity, reload rate. Like there's a lot. There's a whole meta behind this for every single weapon in the game. And it really kind of adds a new layer of both progression and customization. So I didn't actually know about that when I jumped back in, but I was pleasantly surprised with a new form of progression in Helldivers 2. I've been reading quite a bit about this game and where Arrowhead wants to take it. Their CEO has done a lot of interviews where he's kind of said, like, don't expect Helldivers 3 anytime soon. I don't know if he's cleared that with Sony, but it seems they want to make Helldivers kind of a living, breathing thing for as long as humanly possible. So I definitely think this is the kind of game that I want to jump into at least every, couple times a year, because they do seem committed to really kind of making it grow into something long term. So yeah, that's it. The other thing is I haven't played Arc Raiders yet. I know you both are going to talk about Arc Raiders, but I think I'm going to get Arc Raiders, boys.
You should, dude. You should.
I've been thinking about it for a little while, and we talked about it a little bit before the show. And like you, Ben, like you've said this before, there's always that apprehension with getting on a game with some friends, because there's always like, oh, I'm going to spend money on it, and a week later, all my friends are going to have to move on to something else. But I think it seems like Arc Raiders is one of those games that's really going to stick around. So you guys have convinced me. I think I'm going to pick it up, and it'll be on PlayStation, but it's crossplay. So
Yeah.
but
you're gonna have to get PS Plus.
Yeah, I've already got it, but I'm going to be too green to play with you guys anyways. But
No, you won't be. We
There's
can
no
help you.
such thing. We like literally just reset to 0 like last week.
oh, there you go.
Dave, I will give you this caution because I know you go to bed early. I don't start till like 9 at earliest most nights.
That's okay.
Okay. All right.
Play tonight.
That's it for me.
Play at night.
Play tonight.
Play at night, Dave. Play at night.
We'll
Play at night,
play.
Dave. You don't have to get up early in the morning, Dave. Play at night.
Excellent raid, gentlemen. That's what we're gonna say. Excellent raid.
Brandon, let's talk about Arc Raiders. You and I have both been playing. We just did the reset. Talk to me about how the reset has affected your playing style or your playing in general.
Honestly, it was a little bit disappointing when it happened initially, but I will say that this is completely revitalized. It like gave me this.
Why was it disappointing?
Everything was gone.
Oh, okay.
All of my money was gone. All of my stash was gone. All of my blueprints, all of my workbenches were reset. Like everything was gone pretty much that's useful. My cosmetics and this, that, and the other. But they've also added like a new map effect, and they added a new battle pass, and they added a new. They've added a bunch of stuff. Okay. And after losing everything, sure, it was disappointing at first, but this is completely revitalized my go-to for this game. Like I came right back into it and I was right back at it. Like recollecting the stuff that I hadn't cared about for a while was actually super fun to kind of rebuild everything up and to have that new sense of tension. I was never to a point where some of these streamers are. I mean, it's their job to play these games and they always bitch about losing loot, but they have like more than they could ever use times a million. I was never to that point, but I did have a lot, right? I played the game for 100 hours and going back and kind of having that scarcity, that tension that's always there, no matter what you're doing, the tension is there of dying, right?
Yeah.
But to have it be even higher and be more of an adrenaline dump because you had so little that I hadn't felt in a while, 10 out of 10. It's great. It's great. The tension in this game is perfect, man. That's one of the best things about it. And the extraction shooter genre is just the constant tension between, in this game, the PvE and the PvP, but that sense to need to be like, oh shit, I need to leave right now. And I need to be very careful moving forward because this thing I have, I don't want to lose. Either that or I just shove it up my ass. In this game, there is a mechanic, Dave, where you have a safe pocket or two, and it's affectionately referred to as, everybody calls it, their prison wallet. So, maybe I shove an apricot up my ass. Maybe I shove a light bulb up my ass. Maybe I shove a metal rod up my ass. So
The wall unt.
what's that now?
The wall unt.
Yeah, dude.
The Percy.
Dude, the prison wallet is always packed full when you're with me, buddy. Maybe it's a prickly pear. That one hurts a bit.
Sometimes
put
he
stuff
takes things
into
out of
your
his ass
wallet?
to give to me to put in my ass.
Dude, did you hear that, Dave? Sometimes I take stuff out of my ass for Ben to put in his ass.
So I can put stuff in your wallet.
No. You can hand me stuff, and then you have to watch me put it in my ass.
What, what if I want to put it in myself?
I don't think that's a
spit on
I
mechanic.
wish you could. Honestly, I'll write to Embark. You should be able to shove things in your boy's prison wallet.
Can Ben watch while I do it?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
In fact, it's encouraged. Just in case it slips out, then he can grab it on the ground.
Is this one of the gooning games we talked about earlier?
That's
Think
why it's
about
selling
it.
so well.
Think about it, Embark. Think about it. But no, it's so good. It's so fucking good. I'm on. I have one more thing to collect that I've tried to for hours. It's like a really pretty rare drop that only drops on one map. And then I'm on the last tier of the expedition, and there's like 53 days left. So once I get past all of this, now I'm just going to be grinding for money. I'm absolutely going to meet the 5 million threshold for the money this time.
What if
I'm
it's
not gonna-
higher?
I doubt it. People weren't happy about the 5 million, so
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the same.
Yeah.
If they do anything, I would only imagine them being like, "Oh, now you can get 6 million."
Right.
You know what I mean? Increasing it instead of like making the thresholds bigger. But yeah, it's been so great, man. This game continues to deliver in every facet. I haven't had a bug for a game like this in a long time, in a very long time.
One of the interesting dynamics, and I think there's been some headlines about this, and we still don't have like official confirmation of how it works or anything, but there seems to be aggression-based matchmaking. And we know that they did state before that there is essentially equipment-based matchmaking. But the fact that there seems to be aggression-based matchmaking is really interesting because obviously anybody at any time on any map and under any condition could pull out their gun and shoot you if they wanted to. Like that's it's fair game. But it definitely seems to be that when you are less aggressive, it pairs you with people who are less aggressive, and vice versa, obviously too. The more aggressive you are, the more aggressive it pairs you with people. So it's kind of like, yeah, there's always the constant risk of dying to another player. There's always the risk of dying to Ark, but definitely to other players as well. But you can kind of, within a few games, tune that to be more or less aggressive or friendly if you want it to be. And that's not to say that we've never had a game that does that. I mean, that's a type of skill-based matchmaking to an extent, although you could be the best player in the world and be non-aggressive, and it's not going to know what your skill base is. But I just think that's a cool mechanic, a cool thing that they've built into it for sure. It's not foolproof, and of course, you know, it's not 100% confirmed how it actually works, but like there have been many people who have been like, I played 100 games, 50 aggressive, 50 non-aggressive. Here's how things went. And it's a very clear, and you can feel it while you're playing it too. Like it's a very clear delineation there. So that's kind of cool. Brandon, you mentioned the reset, changing the way you think and the way you play. I remember, like before, I was selling metal parts like constantly because I had too many. And the other day, I was like, I don't have any metal parts because I had gone so long before the reset without collecting them.
Right.
That once, excuse me, once the reset hit, I didn't think about collecting them. So I was just using them and not really considering it. So that's been interesting. But yeah, I'm still having a ton of fun with it. I don't have a lot more to say that we haven't talked about already or that Brandon hasn't said. This game just continues to give. They have rolled out new cosmetics. They rolled out a whole new. Did you just buy it, Dave?
Let's go, baby. Start that shit downloading. We'll be on in a bit.
They just rolled out a new, essentially, battle pass that's free. I know they will have paid battle passes in the future, but right now there's 2 that are free.
Concurrent.
Concurrent, and you can go back and earn stuff from the past ones as long as you purchase them. Once they are paid.
Redeem them, I guess.
Redeem them, yeah. So that's really cool. Constantly getting cosmetics and stuff as you're doing quests and trials and everything else. The grind is just a lot of fun, and
So much fun.
I'm happy you picked it up, Dave. And the game, I will say this, I don't prefer playing solo. I like playing with a group of people, but generally after like Brandon or whoever I'm playing with gets offline, I'll still run a few rounds solo just because I'm like, this is still fun solo. Like I still have stuff to do.
Dude, I play a lot of solo. I
Yeah,
I love solo.
yeah,
I think it's great. You know what's cool? Something else about the reset that I've noticed is that it's cool because last raid or last reset, there were things that I was collecting that I could have used, but I didn't end up using, right? Like craftable things. So now moving forward, I know, hey, I'm not going to use this as much because for the entire last reset, I had these and I didn't use them as much. So I can then allocate different resources that I do use a lot.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Is like it's cool going back in with that knowledge and being able to like take what I learned from the last reset and say, hey, I don't need as many of these voltage converters because I had them and ended up not really using them very much. So I'm gonna save this space for arc alloys now,
Yeah.
or like arc circuitry because that's gonna make my blue shield, and I burn through blue shields. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's kind of cool going into that too.
Agreed. The only other thing I've been playing is I've been playing Tomb Raider, the one from 2013. It's the Game of the Year edition. I don't know. It's on my Steam family account. I don't know whose it is. I think it's Josh's, but it doesn't really matter. Um, and I've been playing it exclusively on Steam Deck, which this does not seem like a game I would want to play on Steam Deck, but it's built for controllers, so like it's perfect. Um, I love the old Tomb Raider games, but I haven't played one since the old days. I didn't play any of these new Tomb Raider games from like 2009 through current. And with the the hype around the Game Awards with the new Tomb Raider games, the remake and then the new one, I was like, hey, I should go back and check these out. I literally have access to play all Tomb Raider games that have ever existed, at least on like PC or consoles, not mobile, which I don't care about that anyway. So but this game is really good. I'm about halfway through it. Like I said, I've been playing it entirely on the Steam Deck. Um, it's an old, adventure, action adventure, Tomb Raider game. There's not a lot I can say about it that you haven't heard before. I will say that one thing about it that is different than my normal preferences, but it's not bothering me much here. There's a lot of quick time events in this game. And I forgot how much of a standby that was for games in the past. I don't feel like we rely as much in single player games on QuickTime events as we used to. And it's very apparent here that there's a lot of QuickTime events where I'm like, wow, I would have actually liked to do that rather than just hit the X button. So that's, it's enjoyable still. I'm still having fun with it, but that's my one complaint about it so far. So I'll report back in. I intend to sometime in the next 2 years before the new one comes out to play through all the mainline. I think there's 5 the mainline games of the reboot from 2013 forward, but it looks phenomenal on Steam Deck. And runs even better. I mean, it is a 12-year-old game at this point, so it's not like it's that big of a, but I still wasn't sure how it was going to run, and it runs great. And that's all I got to talk about. I've really just been playing Arc Raiders and Tomb Raider. Oh, this is about Raiders. Are there any other Raider games I could check out? Let me know.
Are we
Right
not
in the
going to talk
comments.
about our resolutions?
I didn't even think about it. I think we've done that in the new year previously, but we can do it now if you prefer.
No, no, no. I literally just thought about it. I'm fine with talking about it next episode, but I honestly assumed that's what we were going to be doing. But
If I had to guess, I mean, I haven't come up with new resolutions. We usually do resolve the old resolutions, then do the new ones the next week.
that's fair. That's fair.
I haven't come up with any new ones for sure. So,
Yeah.
Derek says Tomb Raider 2013 really having a resurgence lately. Good. It seems to be great. I mean, I know people lauded it at the time. I just never played it. Never got to it. That's it, boys. It might actually be the fabled short show.
The short show. Is it actually? Not. Oh, it is like 30 minutes. Holy fuck.
No, it's an hour.
Oh, they've disconnected and reconnected. I'm hovering over his screen.
Oh,
Dave, you stayed connected this time though.
yeah. I don't know what happened there, but
Oh.
I apologize.
Ghost in the machine.
Goon in the machine. My
Go-
machine's gooning.
Never.
I saw
given your
a
machine,
Reddit
dude.
post, and it was it was zooming in on like a semiconductor like 1,000 times to show just how like intricate and detailed and like technologically advanced these things actually are. And one of the top comments was one of the biggest feats in human history from a technological standpoint, just so we can goon in 4K.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Think about
that's true.
that.
That's true. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for hanging out. I hope you all have a happy new year. And I know we will be. I don't know that we will be. We plan to. So hopefully you guys do too. Don't forget to check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/handsomephantom, as little as $1 a month. Get you ad-free early access to the audio versions of the show. And we're also here normally every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then also hang out in Discord at handsomephantom.com/Discord. Boys, am I forgetting anything? Alrighty. We will catch you all later.
Bye.